Stoicism is based around letting go of things outside of our control, becoming so at peace with our inner universe that nothing external can affect you. Yeah, it's normal to feel emotions, but it's your relationship with those emotions that actually matter. In today's video, we'll be covering 7 Stoic principles to master the art of not caring and just letting go. If you're distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. He's essentially saying that the things outside of us aren't what truly hurt us, it's how we perceive them. Think about that for a second. We often assume the world is making us stressed, frustrated or sad, but it's actually how we interpret the world that causes the pain. And here's the thing, we have complete control over that. Let's say you're stuck in traffic, running late, someone cuts you off, whatever it is. I get it, things can be overwhelming, but is it really the traffic that's upsetting you? No, it's your judgment of the situation. You feel like you should be somewhere. You feel like you're losing precious time, but what if you simply accepted the traffic just as it is? Maybe use the time to listen to a podcast, or reflect on your day, or even see it as an opportunity to practice patience. The moment you change your perspective, the stress fades. That is the power. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters, Epictetus. The event itself is irrelevant, but our response to it means everything. Life's unpredictable, bad things will happen, but the Stoics remind us that while we can't control external events, we can always control our inner response. Let's say you get some bad news at work, maybe you didn't get the promotion you were hoping for, and the newcomer did. You could react with anger or frustration, letting it ruin your mood, maybe your week. Or you could take a step back and think, this isn't the end of the world. There may have been a very practical reason for the decision. What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience? The situation remains the same, but your reaction changes everything. This shift in mindset is what gives you control over life's inevitable setbacks. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca. Seneca's quote speaks to something we all experience. Our minds can be our worst enemies, creating scenarios that never come to pass. How many sleepless nights have you had worrying about something that never actually happened? Think about the anxiety that comes before public speaking, or even a wedding. We play out all the ways things could go wrong, imagining failure, judgment and embarrassment. But when we actually go through with it, it's usually not nearly as bad as we initially thought. The worst case scenarios we build up in our heads almost never happen. Seneca's telling us that our imagined fears are often far worse than reality. And learning to distinguish between what's real and what's just in our minds can save us a lot of unnecessary suffering. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? Marcus Aurelius. Here Marcus reminds us of the destructive nature that comes with anger. Anger often feels justified in the moment, but if you stop and think, the consequences of your anger are usually far more harmful than what actually triggered it in the first place. Picture a time when you lost your temper, maybe you snapped at a friend or a family member. In the moment, you probably felt like you were right to be angry, but afterwards you're left dealing with the fallout, hurt feelings, damaged relationships, and more often than not, regret. The original reason for your anger likely feels small in comparison to the damage that's often caused by your reaction. That's why Marcus urges us to first pause, because once it takes over, the consequences can be much harder to fix. One method I personally find helps with this a lot when anger arises is not to vocalize it. An initial response for many of us would be to curse, share our dissatisfaction with others, but all this does is amplify those emotions and project them into the world. As Marcus Aurelius says, stop, pause, be still. Begin at once to live and count each day as a separate life. Seneca. Seneca's reminding us not to waste time. Life is short and we often spend too much of it waiting for the right moment to start living fully. But what if we treated each day as a separate life? Imagine how differently you would approach your day if you thought of it as a complete life within itself, instead of just another 24 hours to get through. I'm sure there's been a time you said, I'll start fresh tomorrow, or I'll work on that goal next week when I have more time to fully focus. Now imagine if you treated today like it was all you had. You'd likely focus more on what really matters, spending quality time with your loved ones, pursuing passions, or simply just being present. It's about living with intention, not waiting for a future that isn't really guaranteed. That's the urgency Seneca wants us to embrace. Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well. Epictetus. This quote is a classic Stoic principle, accepting life as it is rather than constantly wishing for it to be different. Epictetus is telling us that when we stop resisting reality, it becomes a lot easier. It's not about giving up on your goals, but learning to adapt when things don't go as planned. I'm sure there's been a time where your plans got derailed, maybe a vacation got cancelled or a job opportunity fell through. It's natural to be disappointed, but if you keep dwelling on the situation and how things could have gone, you're only creating more frustration. Instead, try to accept things and just move forward. Maybe that cancelled vacation leads you to receiving a new fortunate opportunity. When you flow with life rather than fight against it, that's when things start to fall into place. It's not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Marcus Aurelius. And finally, Marcus brings us back to a powerful truth. The real tragedy isn't death. It's never truly living. We often fear death as this looming end, but the real fear should be going through life on autopilot, never seizing opportunities. The opportunities that were right in front of us the whole time. How much time do you spend waiting? Waiting for the weekend, waiting for the right time to chase your dreams. But what if you didn't have as much time as you thought? What would you do differently? Marcus is urging us to just wake up, be present, and just live in the moment. Live with purpose. Don't let fear or procrastination hold you back. Start that project, take that trip, call that friend. You have to live now, because now really is the only thing that we're guaranteed. Thanks for making it to the end. If you found value, please like, subscribe, and share with somebody that needs to see this. It is my first video, so still learning on the job. I hope I was okay, but until next time, see ya.